Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, listen, going back all the way to Bretton Woods, going to the petrodollar that was arranged by Kissinger with the Saudi Arabian nations. What we see is the dollar was a predominant currency of the entire world, the entire globe, as the petrodollar. Very powerful. Extended its influence on every country on earth. And what we see is an erosion. They are over there right now, and they are plotting the demise of the United States dollar. Let's get in there and let's take a look at what's going on. Let's start the charts right here. World dollar hegemony is ending. And they say that might be a good thing. I say no, it's not even close to being a good thing. It's very, very, very disruptive. We remember what times were like up until 2019. And the further you go back in history, the better things were. And that was under dollar hegemony. The whole world went through a little Goldilocks period there, when the dollar was really strong. And so this says that this might be a good thing. No, I don't think so. It says the world dollar hegemony is coming, and the end of the world dollar hegemony is coming, and hardly anyone in government is taking notice or even understands what this means. They're quoting the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944. And they're saying how it's the only currency accepted throughout the world, the settlement of international trade and accounts amongst nations. They brought about the demise of the dollar on their own. 1971 was one of the biggest reasons why the dollar's in the predicament it's in right now, is because Nixon and the gold shock. The Nixon shock is what they call it. When Nixon made the dollar so that it was not convertible into gold any longer. He said he wanted to stop the speculators. He said it was going to be a temporary thing. It was not, because that was 1971 and it's still happening today. The dollar's still not convertible to gold. That's what gave the dollar strength. Well, they changed that convertibility to gold in 1971, and they switched over to a loose peg to oil. The dollar was how much oil can you buy? And because it was the only currency you could use to buy oil. What we're seeing now is a very, very strong move away from the dollar as the currency, the petrodollar. It's being eroded, and the countries that are eroding this, who are working to de-establish the dollar as the world reserve currencies and establish this new SCO currency in its place. It says the SCO currency will supplant the dollar as the world's premier reserve currency. That's what it says in this article. Now, first off, as I said at the start of the article, I don't think it's a good thing that this dollar hegemony is ending, because it's going to reveal a period in human history that's very dark indeed. But now, what is this SCO currency? And let's just take a look at some of these articles here. The China-led SCO bloc agrees to expand trade in probably gold, I would imagine. It says China is quietly trying to dethrone the dollar. Broader use of non-dollar currencies within the SCO bloc for trade in energy and other major commodities has already been set in motion. Another article. SCO states it's serious about switching to settlements in national currencies. Why is Iran proposing a single currency for the SCO region? Now, if you don't know what the SCO is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And these SCO members, and it says SCO members, member states, these are the states, and China being the big one. It says members of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization are studying using local currency settlements and so on. We can see what's happening here is they've been behind the erosion of the dollar for quite a while now. And why do you think that the Fed comes out there and they say, we want to fight inflation. We're going to raise rates. We're also going to do quantitative tightening. Inflation, inflation, inflation. But right here, this is also a fight against what the SCO is trying to do. By the Fed doing what they're doing and supporting the dollar. You've seen how high the dollar went on the DXY very recently. Went all the way up to 114 and change, almost 115. And this is a reaction to what the Fed's doing. But the world markets are also going to react to what the Fed's doing. This is nothing more, nothing less than a currency war that's an extension of a world trade war that's on right now. As much as people might say that we are in a real hot war, we're not really as such. Russia's in a war with Ukraine, but other than that, real hot war, World War III, has not really erupted. But we are in a war that's been ongoing all the way back to the Trump administration. An ongoing war against China that's a trade war that's morphed now into this currency war that's going on, and they want to destroy the purchasing power of the currencies of the West and establish purchasing power for the currencies of the East using the backing of gold and silver, amongst other things. So that's where we stand right now. It's a war. Let's take a look at the silver price today. 21.46 today. It's up 13 cents. So silver and gold are really finally starting to come into their own a little bit. Will they be able to suppress the price down like they've done before? Because we've seen all this before. We've seen as silver has been doing this for a number of years now. It goes as high as 26 bucks. And then the wind gets knocked out of it and it's right back down to 17, 18, whatever. Now we're at 21.46, and we've seen quite a little meteoric rise in the past number of days from around 18 bucks up to 21.46. Let's take a look at gold today. Gold is up $1.10 today at 17.13. It is nice to see, though. I like to see it going up. Now, cryptocurrency is taking a beating right now. We've lost, like, just since the start of the week, I mean, we've lost, like, I don't know, it looks to me like about 15% or something. I mean, it's really losing steam. 17,773. I mean, 17,713 for Bitcoin. And 1,232 for Ethereum. And that's not looking good. That's looking pretty sickly and weak. Let's take a look now at the stock market. So far today, we're down 269 points at 32,906. We're right on the verge right here, breaking through this bear market trend. You know, we're right on that edge. But if we go now, if we sink right now, then we haven't broken out of that. We have not broke out of that channel, that bear action. So this would be an indicator that we're still in a bear market rally. If we start to turn downwards, and we're 269 points downwards. But that was the last two pumps in this bear market rally have been really big ones. This one here that took us up to 33,706, and this one here we just having right now is taking us up to, what is it, about 33,000. More or less, you know, these are two really strong bear market rallies. Almost made it look like we're out of a bear market. They're so strong. But now I think we're starting to run smack back to the bear market, and the reason why is because the Fed has not really pivoted yet. There's anticipation of a pivot, but the real pivot hasn't come yet. So, moving on. Crude oil today is down $1 at 87.90. The move index today. Now, this again, we're right on that line of just the opposite of what the market, that line. We've seen three bottoms here. If we break below, we're right on the bottom again. So we've seen three. There's one bottom right here, and around June 3rd. The next bottom was right here around August 12th, 106, and now we're on the third bottom right here, November 8th. And we haven't broken down below that trend line though, and you can see this trend line going up and up and up. So this means that we're probably going to see this thing go above 150 very soon. That's what I'm expecting. But when this gets too high, it's an indicator of instability in the credit markets. Bonds, U.S. Treasury bonds right now, we're seeing them go up today. Yields are rising. We're seeing the U.S. 10-year at 4.15, it's up 2.5 basis points. And we're seeing the U.S. 30-year at 4.29, it's up 4 basis points. Now to check the dollar index, it's at 110.28. Now I'm going to tell you what the marker is for this dollar index. The kickoff for hyperinflation, is when you see this thing, first off, you'll see it drop below 100. And then you'll see her drop down below 80. If she drops down below 70, then you're in real hyperinflation. Real hyperinflation. Not this whole thing where they say, oh, we're in hyperinflation, and you got like 8% inflation. That's not hyperinflation. That's inflation. Hyperinflation is like, you go to buy a loaf of bread tonight, and it's, say, $5. You go to buy it tomorrow, and it's like $6.50. And the next day, it's like over $10. That's hyperinflation. It moves fast. And people get very insecure about holding their money. They try to get rid of it as fast as they get a hold of it. That's hyperinflation. We are headed toward hyperinflation, real hyperinflation. And the faster it goes, the faster it's going to go. It's because people want to get out of the fiat currencies that they're holding, and they want to get into something that they can hold that's going to retain its purchasing power. The premier is gold. That's premier. Silver is like good too. Then you get your cryptocurrencies. You need a little bit of technical knowledge to be able to work with them. It can be very dangerous for an amateur. Doesn't know what he's doing. He could lose his coins. I mean, he just, oh, honey, or I'll go, Martha, what did I do with those passwords, those codes I had for my crypto wallet? She says, I don't know. She says, there was, let's see, I did the wash last week, and I found this crumpled up note in the back pocket, but all the ink was washed off of it. That was it, he says. Was it in red ink? Yes, Martha says, it was in red ink, but all the numbers got washed away in the wash because I ran it through the wash. It was in your back pocket. Those were my passwords. That's crypto for you. Repeat that times 1,000 across the country of people having that same problem, sort of problems in one form or another. Now you got a real silver coin, and you hold it right in your hand, you're not going to lose your password to that. You know what I mean? This is one of the big problems with cryptocurrency, is it's so technical. It was originated, really, it started out as kind of like geeks. Now, there is a day coming, listen, probably when cryptocurrency will be worth a bloomin' fortune. And then it'll be easy to use. Then your grandmother will have her wallet, and she's even able to figure it out. When that day comes, crypto will be worth a fortune, and right now it's harder to use, but the price is down. So this is the way with life. Nothing's fair that way. You know what I mean? You can get into crypto right now really cheap, dirt cheap compared to where it's probably going in the end. But it's you got to have practically have a degree to even know how to buy the stuff, or store it. But when it really gets easy and everybody wants it, then and it's easy to work with, then you're not going to be able to buy it. It's going to be a king's ransom to buy some, because that's the way the world works. If you haven't noticed, that's the way it is all the way through, and everything in the world runs that way. If something comes easy, like they say, go make money on Amazon. Well, you're going to find there's 1,000 people standing in line in front of you wanting to make money on Amazon. Stuff like that, right? But if you've got to really work hard, the sweat comes off of your brow, that's honest money. That's the way the world is. Everything the more man hours it takes and requires to get it, the money, and the harder it comes, the more honest money it is, and the more it's worth having. Anything that's really you have to really fight for is worth having. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.